Are police any closer to solving the mystery? Why are they investigating one person's alibi? And saving the animals from the wildfires out west.
If they hadn't left, why, a lot of them would have been burned up.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with John Siegenthaler.
Good evening, everyone. President Bush invoked the 25th Amendment today and for the second time in our history transferred power to the vice president while Mr. Bush underwent a routine colonoscopy. The president got a clean bill of health, then he's back on the job tonight. We'll have more on that in a moment. But first, as we approach the 4th of July, Americans are concerned about the possibility of another terrorist attack. A new poll says more than half of all Americans believe the U.S. will be attacked again. And as NBC's Virginia Cha reports, law enforcement officials are on high alert.
Protecting the nation's monuments, part of the elevated security prompted by the latest FBI alert to state and local law enforcement, warning of possible terror attacks as America heads into the 4th of July holiday week. NBC News has learned the Pentagon is beefing up the number of combat air patrols during the holiday over key areas, including New York and Washington. And the FAA has established no-fly zones around the Statue of Liberty, Mount Rushmore in South Dakota, and the Gateway Arch in St. Louis. On the water, a Coast Guard ban on boats near celebration sites. On the ground, in places like St. Louis and the nation's capital, extra fencing with security checkpoints where visitors will be screened. And in areas like Boston.
We'll be doing airborne monitoring, radiological, biological. We'll be monitoring the air quality of the area starting right on the 3rd.
Officials say despite intense intelligence monitoring, they know of no specific threats at this time tied to July 4th. But concerns are high. And on Monday, officials plan to reassess, deciding if the information they have warrants raising the current national threat level from yellow to orange, signifying a high risk of attack. Just one below the highest threat level, red. The latest Newsweek poll shows most Americans, 57%, believe a terror attack during the holiday is somewhat or very likely. Yet a whopping 80% polled say they won't avoid crowded public places, and 77% say they won't avoid travel.
You know, you can't be living in fear, and so we decided to go through with our plans.
There is a psychological benefit that it basically regularizes people to the notion that terrorism can exist without them being panicked so much that they stop doing everything in life.
A daily struggle for all Americans to strike a balance between fear and freedom as the country gets set to mark the day when that freedom was born. Virginia Cha, NBC News, New York.
And now to the president's health. For more than 2 hours this morning, Vice President Dick Cheney became the president. The transfer of power took place while doctors performed a successful colonoscopy on President Bush at Camp David. NBC's Nora O'Donnell joins us from the White House with the story. Nora?
Good evening, John. Tonight, the White House says the president is feeling great after a colonoscopy in which his doctors say no medical problems were found.
Just hours after the procedure, President Bush today took advantage of the beauty of Camp David on a warm summer day to walk 4 miles with his wife and others, and then work out at the gym. White House Dr. Richard Tubbs said today's colorectal screening was precautionary, since 4 benign polyps were found and removed in 2 previous examinations several years ago.
The procedure lasted for 20 minutes and was completely uncomplicated. No polyps were found, no abnormalities were found.
The White House said at 7:09 this morning, President Bush officially invoked the 25th Amendment, temporarily transferring power to Vice President Dick Cheney.
In this particular case, he looked at all the circumstances, the length of the procedure, the relationship with the Vice President, things going on domestically and internationally, and made the decision it was the right thing to do for this country.
The procedure performed by a team of military doctors at Camp David. The president sedated with a drug called propofol, a type of anesthesia chosen because it takes effect in less than a minute and wears off quickly. While Bush was unconscious for just 22 minutes, the vice president at the White House today assumed the powers of the executive office for exactly 2 hours and 15 minutes, out of what the White House called an abundance of caution.
We wanted to reassure everyone that the president was not going to be making a hasty decision to rush back into and assume authority.
It is only the second time in history a president has handed over power. The last, July 13th, 1985, when then-President Reagan underwent surgery for colon cancer, transferring power to then Vice President Bush.
Tonight, the president's doctors say Bush will continue to get his annual physical examinations, but because today's test showed nothing unusual, Bush will not need another colonoscopy for 5 years. John?
NBC's Nora O'Donnell at the White House. Nora, thank you. Now, the president's procedure today is a reminder to many Americans who have not had a colonoscopy that it can save lives. NBC's chief science correspondent Robert Vizell reports.
President Bush today underwent what many doctors consider one of the most important tests in preventive medicine. With a patient under mild sedation, the doctor inserts a tube that has a fiber optic camera to look for cancer and for precancerous growths called polyps. Today, the president's test found no cancer and no polyps. But if there is a polyp, the device can easily remove it, eliminating any chance for colon cancer to develop.
As Americans, we carry a 6% risk of developing colon cancer. And if you develop colon cancer, there's a 50% chance that you will die of that disease. And he is just making sure, the way all Americans should make sure, that they don't get colon cancer and they don't die of that disease.
Many health experts say everyone 50 and over should get a colonoscopy. They cost about $1,000, but many insurance plans pay, and Medicare covers everyone 65 and over. Kathleen DiGiotano insisted her doctor give her one after she saw Katie Couric get a colonoscopy on Today. It found a cancer that would have been life-threatening if not removed early.
Nobody has to die from it, and you have to take your own health into your own hands.
There are less expensive tests. A flexible sigmoidoscopy looks at the lower part of the colon. Another test looks for blood hidden in the stool. Used together, these two tests find about 75% of cancer. But colonoscopy is the gold standard, finding almost all cancers and eliminating precancerous polyps before they become dangerous. Some experts estimate that if every American over 50, like President Bush, got a colonoscopy, the death rate from colon and rectal cancer, now 56,000 a year, could be cut by an amazing 90%. Robert Vizell, NBC News, New York.
From the front lines of a major wildfire in eastern Arizona, encouraging news tonight. Tens of thousands of people who had been evacuated because of the fire danger have been allowed to return to their homes. NBC's Chip Reed joins us tonight from Show Low, Arizona with that story. Chip?
Well, John, about 8,000 evacuees were from here in Show Low. It's been a very emotional week for them, but today it was tears of joy. 1 week after running from a fire known then as the Monster, the deeply thankful residents of Show Low, Arizona, returned to their homes today and found them just as they had left them.
We're still here. We're still here, so that's a good thing.
All we have to be is grateful.
Yeah.
Show Low Mayor Gene Kelly feels so indebted to the hundreds of firefighters who helped save this town that he is overwhelmed with emotion when he tries to thank them.
There were people on that line. Sorry. They had to order off the line so they could get some rest and sleep.
Jeff Bennett of Show Low is glad to be home, but he worries about the more than 400 families in nearby towns whose homes were destroyed.
I'm a little choked up because I'm thinking of the people that don't have homes, and we get to come home to a home, so you feel a little almost guilty.
Now, this fire is still raging about 40 miles west of here near the town of Forest Lakes. There is a fire line around the town, and fire officials hope it will hold, but they won't know for sure until much later tonight. John?
NBC's Chip Reed in Arizona. Chip, thank you. There are new concerns tonight about the nation's blood supply. NBC's Jim Cummins reports.
Last Monday's church camp bus accident in Texas that killed 5 and injured 36 made everybody aware of the blood supply.
Today's blood that helped these kids was donated last week, last Saturday, last Friday, last Thursday. And if it hadn't been there, we wouldn't have been able to treat them today.
Traditionally, blood shortages occur during the summer because of vacations. But this year, it's happening sooner and in more places. And experts say that's especially disturbing as we approach the long holiday weekend. In New Mexico, authorities are making an emergency appeal for blood donors, calling this a crisis, saying the state could run out of blood after only one major car accident. In Houston, at the MD Anderson Cancer Center, doctors have been forced to cancel some surgeries because there's not enough blood for transfusions. A spokesman there calling it the worst blood crisis in 20 years. Karen Shue-Slipton heads the American Association of Blood Banks.
We like to have a 3 to 5 day minimum inventory, and in certain parts of the country right now, we're down to a day and sometimes even less.
In some places, there is an acute shortage of type O blood, the universal blood type.
That is the type that's needed to manage those dire emergencies, those matter of life and death transfusions, where transfusion has to be given in the blink of an eye.
Reasons for the shortage include an FDA ban on blood donations from people who spent a substantial amount of time in Europe the past 20 years and might have been exposed to mad cow disease. And 9/11, when blood donations peaked.
On 9/11, we had a tremendous outpouring from the public. But as it turns out, as you know, blood only lasts on the shelf for 42 days, and we really haven't seen a general rise overall in blood donation.
The experts say there is a dire need for regular donors who contribute blood every 2 months because they recognize the demand for blood is relentless. Jim Cummins, NBC News, Dallas.
In the Middle East tonight, the standoff is over at the Palestinian headquarters in the West Bank town of Hebron, but just what happened there remains unclear. Overnight, Israeli troops leveled the building in a series of massive explosions. The Israelis say 15 men they wanted to pick up were inside, but today there was no sign of the men. At this program note, the Middle East is Tim Russert's topic tomorrow on Meet the Press. Among his guests, National Security Advisor Condoleezza Rice. Still to come on NBC Nightly News, the Salt Lake City kidnapping. 14-year-old Elizabeth Smart has been missing since June 5th. Now police are narrowing their focus. The story in depth coming up. And later, help for the helpless, saving the animals of the West from the wildfires.
What happens in Washington has a major impact on the stocks that I follow.
Deficits are back. We have a wartime economy on our hands. It's very important to have some sense about how Washington will ultimately act on these issues. That's why you want to tap into Washington sources. Not a day goes by when I'm not on the phone with one of the Prudential analysts up in New York.
I'm able to make better investment research calls because of Prudential's team of experts in Washington.
When you marry Washington with Wall Street, it really adds value for investors.
In this place, I see a lot of gas. I also see a lot of folks taking medicines that don't fight gas. But Gas-X has the most powerful medicine to relieve gas fast. Nothing I've seen works faster. Gas-X beats the bloat fast.
Alert. You have reached the end of the Internet. You have seen everything there is to see. Please go back. Now.
Experience the joy of DirecTV DSL. Call now and pay only $29.99 per month for your first 3 months. Call 1-800-BEST-DSL now.
I thought you were surfing the internet.
Yeah, I finished it.
Moo.
For a super deal on a computer, just call 1-800-GATEWAY. Because right now, you can get a Gateway 300 SE desktop fully loaded with an Intel Celeron processor, 128 megabytes of memory, and a monitor, all for just $5.99. Plus, for a limited time, we'll even include a free CD burner. But hurry, this deal won't last forever, so call 1-800-GATEWAY today. That's 1-800-GATEWAY.
Super Polygrip gives me everything I want in an adhesive. I want firm hold. I want long-lasting hold. I want a snug fit. With Super Polygrip, I now have the confidence to just pick up a cob of corn and eat it, bite it, and enjoy it.
2, for generations, we Bushes have kept the family recipe for our baked beans a secret. Roll that beautiful bean footage. We slow cook our beans with a special blend of herbs and spices, according to our secret family recipe. And here it is. 3 generations of Bushes are counting on us to keep it a secret.
You can trust me, Jay.
I know, boy, but I'm not taking any chances.
Oh, that hurts.
Try Bush's country-style baked beans.
NBC News in depth tonight, investigating the disappearance of Elizabeth Smart. After nearly a month, police in Salt Lake City have little evidence, but are focusing their attention on the movements of one man, a man they're still not calling a suspect. NBC's Shelley Smith has the latest.
More than 3 weeks after 14-year-old Elizabeth Smart disappeared from her bedroom in the middle of the night, investigators continue to gather evidence against a handyman who once worked in the Smart home, 48-year-old Richard Albert Reese.
But much of their case is circumstantial. Police have found no weapon, no sign of Elizabeth. No forensic evidence linking Reese to the crime.
The handyman, whose crimes include burglary and the attempted murder of a police officer, issued this statement from prison.
I believe the reason I'm involved in this investigation is because of my past. I would not, nor could not, hurt a child in any way. The night of her disappearance, I was home with my wife, Angela.
But police have doubts about Reese's story. Andy Thurber, who lives next door to Reese, says a federal grand jury investigating the kidnapping questioned him about Angela's drug use. Angela's attorney says she takes muscle relaxers to help her deal with the pain from an auto accident.
Angela says that Reese was asleep with her the night of the kidnapping. Why don't you believe that?
If they could prove that she had done them that day, I guarantee it, she ain't an alibi. And if she takes them, she's out until somebody wakes her up. And I mean, you gotta wake her up.
Angela will return to the grand jury next week for more questioning. Tonight, investigators are searching for another man seen with Reese near this auto repair shop on June 8th, 3 days after the kidnapping. The shop owner told the grand jury Reese's Jeep was covered in mud, the windows were rolled down, and there were 1,000 extra miles on the odometer.
You asked him, how can you get home?
Yeah, you want me to take him home.
And what did he say?
He said, I get a friend waiting for me across the street.
Police asked local businesses for surveillance tapes. NBC News has learned they're also reviewing the phone records from this payphone, where they believe Reese made some calls. It's day 24 in the search for Elizabeth. Volunteers are dwindling as the case drags on. Shelley Smith, NBC News, Salt Lake City.
And this reminder tonight, the cost of mailing a letter is going up again starting tomorrow. As of Sunday, a first-class stamp will cost 37 cents, up 3 cents from the current price. Other rates will go up as well, including postcards, express, and priority mail. When we come back, the difficult road to recovery after September 11th, how some survivors are learning to move on.
Oh, no. Here it comes. Big-time neck pain. Yeah, the kind that makes you want to throw in the towel. What, are you going to feel sorry for yourself? Or grab a Thermacare, that new air-activated heat wrap. Open it up, it gets warm and stays warm for 8 hours. Deeply relaxing tight muscles. So, circulation flows in, helping pain flow out. Ooh. Can you dig it? New Thermacare heat wraps. Find them in the pain reliever aisle.
Yeah! Staying regular can be an endless cycle of thick powder fiber drinks.
Try a refreshing change. Pure, natural water with FiberCon caplets.
Just as effective as powders and much easier to take.
FiberCon, refreshingly easier to take.
My darling Jeffrey, I miss you so much. I can't stand the thought of another lonely night. When will I see your beautiful brown eyes again? I love you with every fiber of my being. Your dearest love, Annabelle. 80% less paperwork, only from Bank of America.
The first major advance for the fastest treatment of athlete's foot is Lamisil AT. Lamisil AT is the first non-prescription medicine proven to kill the fungus with just 1 week's use. Not even a prescription can beat that. Lotrimin AF and Tinactin still expect you to treat for 4 weeks. Who's going to do that? When your feet itch and burn, using Lamisil AT 1 week keeps you athlete's foot free 3 months. Lamisil AT. There's no better way to cure athlete's foot.
If you haven't tried extra strength Rolaids, you're in for a new experience. It's fruity, creamy, smooth. A new test-proof extra strength Rolaids has the taste even Tums can't beat. And it's fast. Extra strength Rolaids quickly neutralizes 21% more stomach acid than Tums DX. R-O-L-A-I-D-S. Rolaids spells relief with a taste that can't be beat.
Next week's marking of Independence Day will be another post-September 11th milestone, especially for those Americans who survived the attacks. For many, recovery from the trauma of the day is far from over. In the months following the attack, Dateline NBC followed some of those who survived the collapse of the World Trade Center in New York. Here's Hoda Kotb with one of their stories.
everything being relative, this woman was one of the lucky ones.
I can still see myself running down those stairs. I can still smell the diesel. I can still feel the fire on my face.
An insurance analyst working on the 102nd floor of the World Trade Center, Judith Francis felt a furnace blast of heat just as the other tower was attacked. Quickly scrambling down the stairs, she was on the 85th floor when the second plane sliced into her building.
This thing exited right over my head. The sound I will never, never, never forget.
That sound, plus images of death and destruction, have been burned into her memory. From day one, Judith was devastated by nightmares, flashbacks, and a terrifying telltale sign of trauma, searing panic attacks, as many as 5 a day.
I'm just hoping that I stop having the physical symptoms, because I don't want that to cripple me.
Help came from intensive sessions with a psychologist, but Judith also came up with a unique battle plan, her own way to feel good about herself again.
Today is the day that you're going to try to face one of your fears. Why do you feel the need to go all the way up in the Empire State Building?
From the beginning, I've said no one is going to get the best of me. And if I don't do this, then it's going to be a part of me that never moves on.
She picked late afternoon, hoping her love of sunsets would strengthen her resolve. But almost immediately, feelings of panic gripped her.
My left hand, the paralysis that I've been having is coming back. When I have the panic attacks, that's what I've been having.
Still, she pushed herself onward and upward. And finally, she made it.
Is it scary up here for you?
No. I think there's more beauty than anything scary.
Judith was on top of the world.
The road is getting bigger. It's brighter, without question. And I see myself on it.
And although her emotional struggles were far from over, Judith Francis had taken an important step up. The sky was now the limit. Hoda Kotb, NBC News, New York.
More on the recoveries of Judith Francis and 2 other sufferers of trauma tomorrow night on a special hour of Dateline at 7, 6 Central Time. Coming up next, Lost and Found, saving hundreds of animals stranded in those massive wildfires out west.
Hey, how's your aunt?
Oh, she's doing My friends are always amazed to learn how many of us may need a nursing home or in-home care someday. And when I ask them how they're going to pay for it,
that's a good question. Do you know something I don't know?
State Farm Mutual Automobile Insurance Company's long-term care insurance can help protect you and your savings from the rising cost of long-term care.
When my aunt wasn't prepared, it was a real wake-up call. That's why I tell everyone, even if you don't get it from me, get it. It's that important.
Talk to your State Farm agent. We live where you live.
When I get gas, it hurts. I want the strongest medicine I can get.
Ultra Strength Phazyme gives you more medicine to relieve pressure and bloating, more than Gas X.
Phazyme stops the hurting, and I feel great.
Phazyme, the more medicine, gas medicine.
Using the wrong waterproofer can cost you thousands. Don't be taken for a ride. Demand Thompson's Water Seal. It has the highest level of water protection, guaranteed. Powerful original, new advanced Thompson's Water Seal.
Take care of your future now with new Bayer Women's Aspirin Plus Calcium. Calcium for your bones, aspirin for your heart. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women. Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen and ask about new Bayer Women's.
In today's real estate market, the Prudential Real Estate Network can get you moving. With over 42,000 sales professionals you can rely on, backed by a name trusted for more than a century. Find out why millions of people are sold on Prudential Real Estate.
Chilly nights at the firehouse mean heartburn and gas. These don't have the medicine to relieve both, but Gas X with Maalox does, combining the heartburn relief of Maalox with the power of Gas X to beat the burn and the bloat fast.
Important. Take exactly as directed, but first call around and compare drug prices. Avoid paying too much for your prescriptions. Generics may work as well as brand names. Tell your physician and pharmacist everything you're taking. Some medicines don't interact well. Remember, no matter what an ad says about a drug, it may not be right for you. AARP reminds you to check up on your prescriptions.
Sunday, the starting point, a Bush peace plan and a long road ahead. Condoleezza Rice with the details on that and the war on terror. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Is priority mail worth the extra cost? NBC Nightly News, Monday.
Finally tonight, lost and found. Those western wildfires that chased thousands from their homes in Arizona also left many animals stranded along the way. NBC's Kevin Tibbles tonight on the effort to help those who can't help themselves.
They're frightened, lost, and on the run from the flames. Hundreds of animals either left behind in the panic or cut off from their families by the Arizona fire they call the monster. At this makeshift shelter and hospital in the town of Eager, volunteers took in more than 200 dogs and cats in one day alone. Now the job of reuniting them with their owners begins.
We've taken in birds, hermit crabs, turtles, and a goldfish.
But there are also hundreds of cattle that have been rounded up from their burning grazing land and trucked to safety. The missing livestock represents the livelihood of many Arizona ranchers.
If they hadn't left, why, a lot of them would have been burned up.
17-year-old Stacy Jo Michael is a high school rodeo rider who managed to get all 11 of her horses to safety. Now they're in a shelter just like she is.
I would say my horses before I'd say myself. My horses would always come first.
Perhaps more than any other animal, the horse is particularly vulnerable in a fire. Ranchers say they become disoriented and can either hurt themselves or worse.
They'll panic if it gets real close, and they'll either run through a fence or a lot of horses will run right back into a fire.
That's why former Olympic show jumper James Paskett now volunteers his time to care for the horses that have been rescued, as well as 16 of his own, now stabled at the Apache County Fairgrounds.
People are really sad, and horses, two horses have been put down so far here due to smoke inhalation.
1, 2, 3.
Paskett is also helping to teach many of the evacuated children to ride, to help take their minds off what has happened to their families and homes. In the midst of the chaos these wildfires have caused, so many four-legged members of so many families have become separated. And while they may be frightened and confused, they will be looked after until the smoke clears. Kevin Tibbles, NBC News, Eager, Arizona.
And that is NBC Nightly News for this Saturday night. I'm John Siegenthaler in New York. Thanks for watching. I'll see you back here again tomorrow night.
NBC News, America's news leader.
This summer, Dateline Sunday is all new. He saw it happening. She tried to help, and she survived what no one can forget. And our cameras stayed with them ever since. 3 lives, 3 stories of courage,
I've been given a second chance.
healing, and hope. An all-new Dateline Sunday, 7, 6 Central on NBC.
Donahue is back. Here also. What's more American than that?
Donahue, coming July 15th, weeknights at 8, 7 Central on America's news channel, MSNBC.
The used car 5-day money-back guarantee only at Thomas & Auto Group.
1, 2, 3. More cars with Ram Air. The leader in supercharged power. The only car with wide track handling. It's driving excitement, and it's only at your Pontiac dealer, where you can get $2,000 to $3,500 cash back or 1.9% APR financing. One drive will show you why most new car buyers who shop a Pontiac buy one. Pontiac's in overdrive. See your Oregon and Washington Pontiac dealer today.
Next, Oregon lawmakers say they are really close to coming up with a balanced budget. And a swarm of earthquakes rocks Mount Hood. Is it a sign the volcano is rumbling to life?
This one was rocking pretty good. Well, we live on a hill, too, so there's a lot of trees.
Bill takes a shot. Nothing but net. He scores at Beaverton Toyota, part of the Russ Auto Group, on the corner of Murray Boulevard and Canyon Road.
You've got mail.
Know what you call someone who pays double for internet access? An AOL user.
You've got a choice.
There's only one internet. Why pay double to get it? NetZero gives you the internet for less than half the price of AOL. Only $9.95 a month. And you can download NetZero in just 2 minutes. NetZero. Get the access without the excess. Call 877 only $9.95 or visit netzero.com.
Friday. It's a day for buddies. A day for goofing off. A day to take a spin. And a day for Hormel pepperoni. Zesty. Spicy. It peps things up. And makes the day delicious. No matter what day it is. Today's flavor, Hormel.
1, 2, 3. More cars with Ram Air. The leader in supercharged power. The only car with wide track handling. It's driving excitement, and it's only at your Pontiac dealer, where you can get $2,000 to $3,500 cash back or 1.9% APR financing. One drive will show you why most new car buyers who shop a Pontiac buy one. Pontiac's in overdrive. See your Oregon and Washington Pontiac dealer today.